Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast, the World War II Talk, where we explore how the world went from the end of one world war to the start of another. I'm Logan.
I'm Adrian.
I'm good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the first segment, Treaty of Versailles. Logan, you're kicking us off. What should we know about the Treaty of Versailles?
Alright, the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1990. Basically, it officially ended World War I, but it also led to tons of future conflict. Germany was blamed for the war in Article 231, which is also known as the War Guilt Clause, and they were made to pay for everything they did, which cost about 132 billion gold marks back then, which, adjusted for inflation, would cost about 5 trillion Canadian dollars today.
That's a lot. What else did it do?
Germany also had to reduce its military and lost land to France, Poland, and other countries. These territorial losses and other military limitations made Germans feel weak and humiliated.
What about the economy?
Adding to their major losses, their economy took a huge hit, and unemployment and inflation were the outcome. So many Germans blamed their Weimar Republic, which at that time is just the German government, for signing the treaty.
That's interesting. Anything significant for Canada?
Yeah, actually, Canada did sign the treaty separately from Britain. That was important because it was a sign that Canada was progressing towards their own freedom and independence, away from other international matters.
And how does that connect to what comes next?
Basically, the treaty led to a huge resentment in Germany. There was a decline in belief in democracy and a shift towards authoritarianism. And that's where Hitler and the Nazis entered the picture. But prior to that, Adrian's gonna inform us about what happened in the Great Depression.
Alright, Adrian, you're up. What was the Great Depression?
Okay, so heard it. The Great Depression was a massive economic downturn that started in 1929 in the United States and lasted for about 10 years. So from 1929 to 1939. It hit industry, it hit jobs, it hit individuals worldwide, globally. And because of this, production slowed down, unemployment increased, and people just stopped spending. There was a little loss of confidence in the economy.
So, Adrian, what caused it?
Okay. There was a number of significant causes to this. First was the stock market crash in 1929, bank panics, and the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which reduced international trade. All of these were combined to not just the US economy, but the global economy too.
And how did this impact the people?
So this impacted the people by massive unemployment, poverty, and starvation. Families lost their homes, they lost their farms, they lost their savings, they lost their land, they lost basically everything because of this. Farmers especially were affected by overproduction and a lack of purchasers. Then came the Dust Bowl, a huge drought that forced thousands from their land.
Sounds rough. Was there any kind of change?
Yeah, for sure. Even while economic inequality persisted, rich people retained their wealth. They stayed rich. There were also some fundamental shifts. People started to expect more from their government, and that's where Franklin D. Roosevelt created the New Deal that came in. It introduced relief and recovery and worked with public programs, showing a new activist role for government in the economy.
And all this connects back to Germany, right?
Yeah. Germany was already hurting because of the Treaty of Versailles. When the Depression hit, the economy got even worse. People had no other options, and extremist political parties like the Nazi were more and more appealing.
Alright, Goody, wrap it up. How did the rise of Hitler affect all of this?
All these problems accumulating is what led to Hitler's rise. The democracy in Germany was weak to start with, then the treaty caused people to feel betrayed, and along came the Depression, and that was just too much. Hitler used propaganda and his charisma with the people's desperation to gain his following.
But he wasn't elected, right?
Yeah, he wasn't elected. He was appointed Chancellor in 1933. His party had become the largest in Germany, but he did not achieve it through a popular vote. After gaining power, he quickly turned the government into a totalitarian state. He used fear, censorship, and violence to control the people.
And that led to World War II?
Yeah, Hitler rearmed the army, broke the conditions of the treaty, and invaded Poland in 1939. That's what officially started World War II. And on top of all of that, he presided over the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews and millions of other people were murdered.
So, from both of you guys, to wrap it all up, the treaty caused resentment, The Depression caused despair, and Hitler took advantage of both power to rise.
And that's how the conclusion of one war led to the beginning of another.
Thanks for tuning into our World War II talk. Tune in next time where we discuss what happened once the war had started.
Okay.
Yeah.